How have mentors helped motivate you to do your best work?
Probably primarily through example. So a lot of advice and encouragement and support that I've sought in the last year has really been going to people and my mentors that have been through similar situations that I knew of. So example for the layoffs, it was really talking to other individuals, that had maybe recently gone through layoffs, had went through layoffs with a 500-person company, with a 5-person company, really trying to seek advice from people that had been through something like that before. Because again, I run a very small organization. Our friendship bonds are very tight, and the trust was certainly there. And you wanted to do right by your employees and your team. And so going to people that I knew that had been through these situations before, who I admired and who had handled them well, it was, tell me how to handle this well. What do I need to do? What should I not do? And I mean, a lot of that is instinctual, but I think that, I just needed mentors to tell me that they'd been there before, to tell me that I wasn't alone, even though I knew I wasn't, and really help get me through that time so I could help get my team through that time.
How did mentors specifically help you work through that process of making those difficult layoff decisions?
I think the first step was acknowledging that it had to happen. I think that I went through a phase of denial and did some drastic things to try to avoid it, and at the end couldn't. And it was something that I had to face, and again I had to face in the name of the organization. It would have been a lot easier to just run away from it, or send people a text message, or and then leave the country, which that thought definitely ran through my mind at some point. But of course I would never do that, and of course that wouldn't be the right thing to do, and of course I would feel terrible about doing that. So then it's just really about, okay, now that I've accepted that this is the reality that we have to face, how do we proceed, and how do I treat people with respect, at every level, and how do I also treat myself with respect and not beat myself down so much that I'm not able to lead through this difficult time. And just getting that support from my mentors and that have been there with me all along. But this was certainly one of the biggest challenges we faced. It was critical. I don't know that I would have been able. I would have survived, but it would have been a much more difficult process had I not people I could turn to help me through it.
When you talked to your mentors after you had those difficult layoff conversations with your employees, what did you tell them?
Well, there was a lot of hugging and definitely some tears. There was a lot of tears around all of that. That's how I process any emotion anyway. But it was a lot of appreciation too, because a couple of my mentors, I really taxed their time and like talked their ear off, and kind of had some similar conversations over and over again until I was able to really talk things through. So there was a lot of appreciation for them and their help in getting us through that time. And then there was a time to just sort of not talk about it too much. We addressed it with our team, and my business partner and I did, but I think that at some point we had to sort of step back and breathe and then continue the work we were doing, which was really exciting. So